I think this is probably like the third or fourth time I've started this video. Hopefully this one I don't delete or pause and then stop, because that's what's been happening. First and foremost, I am still counting macros, currently still within parameters, but want a brownie with ice cream, and it's only around 6:30, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it within the limits today because I am craving really bad. So that's the update for that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is something that I think a lot of people are talking about right now, but it's relevant to my current situation in my life. It's like regulating your nervous system, and also the people that you hang out with or associate with or whatever, and who like is good for your nervous system, who I don't know, I guess a good way to say it is like who brings you peace or who helps you stay calm. And I have two particular people in my life who help me regulate and bring me back to reality and help me stay grounded. One specifically, I know there's a saying that says, notice the people who hear you when you're quiet, and that person who is that person who hears me when I'm quiet she knows who she is. And I've actually she's the only one in my life, my whole life, 44 years of life, that has ever said to me, hey, I knew something was up, you were quiet. I think that my parents probably notice when I'm quiet as well, but for whatever reason, they don't say I'm quiet. They just think it and tell everybody else, or maybe just tell each other, and then like my siblings if they're talking to them. But so that's just interesting. And then there's one other person. The confusing thing for me at this point in my life is why I hold on to people who do not calm my nervous system. One of the things that I know is like one of my beliefs or values, I don't really know which one it is, but is that I value loyalty, and I'm just one of those, the old school saying, I'm a ride or die. I don't bring you, I have a very, very small circle. My mom calls it your quality world. And I keep my quality world extremely small. But once you're in that quality world, I have a very difficult time taking you out of it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to, I don't do it well. I've heard people talk about that they are no longer friends with people because it wasn't good for them, and they weren't, it wasn't bringing any value to their life. And I've had so many friends that way, where I know that I was feeling dysregulated, or at the time I didn't know it was dysregulated, but I just knew I didn't feel good about things with them. But it was nearly impossible for me to like have a conversation, or even just whatever. So the friendships, just because life and adulthood and things like that, eventually we would not interact as much anymore, just kind of just on their own. And when I'm in a friendship that dysregulates me, they tend to take a lot of space because I want to calm myself. I want to know like why. I want to understand it, and it's not good for me. So there's only one person in my life that I can think of that they said one specific thing over and over and over, and it hurt my feelings so much that after they said it a certain amount of times, I just stopped hanging out with them. I didn't have a conversation with them as to why I was doing it. I just stopped. And what they would say is, well, Veronica knows that if she wants to hang out with me, she's just gonna have to come to me. And the person said that multiple times to multiple people, and eventually it just hurt my feelings so much that I stopped hanging out with them. And I just thought, if that's really how this person feels, then I don't want to hang out anymore. You know, like I maybe they were saying it without thinking that it would be hurtful. And I think probably the first few times it wasn't hurtful, but then it was just like, it was almost like she, like they were bragging. It was a girl, she was bragging. And I like, it hurt my heart at some point so much that I just stopped hanging out. And I'm sure that she thought, you know, what's going on, but we never had a conversation. We just stopped being close. And that's the only time that I can put my finger on, hey, I looked at a situation and said, this is no longer good. It doesn't feel right. And I stopped like hanging out with that person. So yeah. And one of the biggest things that I keep coming back to is that I want to feel free. I want to feel free from people pleasing. I want to feel free from self-esteem issues. I want to feel free from just anxiety. I want to feel free from all the like ruminating thoughts. That ruminating might be a little bit dramatic of a word, but just the overthinking that I do. I want to be free from that. I want to just like be able to sit and like be happy and be peaceful and just be, I feel grateful, and I know that I'm whole, perfect, and worthy, but I'm still searching for, and I know happiness is like moments, and I'm not saying happiness is going to be all the time, because that's not possible, but like this overall feeling of, you know, and like I said, there are 2 people that I know help ground me, and I'm so grateful for them. But there are people who, I mean, and I'm not just talking about one specific person, because I mean, for the people who know me really well, they are going to say there's one specific person that I'm talking about that makes me dysregulate. And not to say that person isn't valid, but there are people that I'm close to, family members that I'm super close to, that dysregulate me. I mean, like I will receive a text message from them and immediately feel uncomfortable. And I don't want to feel that way about that person. That's the freedom that I'm talking about. Freedom from whatever I'm holding that makes me feel that way. Like I don't understand it. And I'm trying to, you know, like I've mentioned, I'm trying to do like shadow work and things like that, because I'm trying to understand, like, what is it that I just can't breathe and let it go? Like, it's just mind boggling to me. I'm totally confused about it. And, yeah, it just makes me sad that, because there are moments where I want to be in the moment, you know, be present. Everyone says, you know, be present. Don't let, you know, things that are not happening, like the best way to live, the best way to be like at peace is to be present in the moment. And there are times where I can't be in the moment. It makes me really sad for myself. And so that's like the freedom that I'm looking for. I'm looking for, and I know that there's going to be times where we all go through that, but I don't want to feel like that all the time. So it's just really strange. The other thing that on a positive note, that's kind of like on a little bit of a negative note, but on the positive side, one of the things that all of us as humans look for is connection. I call it connection and community. I think I've been searching for community, but I think what I'm really looking for within that community is connection. And I think it's an overall human way to be. I think all of us are looking for connection. Some people require less connection than others, but I think everyone wants to have some sort of connection to another human being. And what I've realized here recently is I have tried to put myself out there, because one of the things that I struggle with is rejection sensitivity. So sometimes I just don't put myself out there so that I don't get rejected, because if I don't put my foot forward, then you can't hurt my feelings by not wanting to, you know, like reciprocate or whatever. And I have seen that me putting things out there more, I am receiving more positive than I am negative. And that connection is actually happening with people that I mean, honestly, surprisingly, I didn't expect it from, you know, like and people are reaching out to me and people are saying, like, you know, I had mentioned that sometimes in friendships, I feel like I'm the one who has to be the one that reaches out first. And I've seen people recently reach out to me and text me and call me. And so that's really heartwarming to feel. And maybe that's always been happening and I just wasn't aware enough to look for it. And so maybe that's why I was like, oh, nobody ever reaches out. Maybe they were reaching out and I just wasn't looking for it, right? So I have felt and seen and have evidence of multiple people reaching out and connecting and, you know, wanting to, you know, talk to me and like, you know, whatever that looks like. So I'm really excited about that. I think that me taking the risk of putting myself out there and in situations and talking to people, because I mean, simple little things like, even at work, simple things like going into an office and being like, hey, what are you doing? Or, hey, good morning. How was your weekend? Or, what are you working on? Like little, I mean, just like things that are, I think part of normal conversations that everybody's like, you're not having those conversations. Actually, no, at some point in my life, for most of my life, I didn't go have those conversations because I didn't want people to look at me like I was annoying or a burden or basically just in their way and they're trying to work and I just didn't want to bother them, right? And so I didn't ask questions. I would just not talk to people. And it makes me it does make me sad because I'm like, who knows who I could have been friends with or had been there for, you know, who knows, like who could have leaned on me. But we can't look back, we can only look forward. And I hope that I continue to, I keep looking to the side because I'm in a parking lot and I keep seeing cars and so I'm nervous about them. So yeah, I'm just, again, grace, trying to give myself grace for you can't always do what you can't do. I mean, you know, like when you know better, you do better. Hopefully I know better now and I'll do better. I think I am doing better. So there's that. Yeah. On a mom note, my son is about to start his junior year in August. And that brings tears to my eyes because he's just the cutest, most beautiful kid you've ever met. Of course, I'm extremely biased, but I'm so honored to be his mom. And I'm so proud of the person he is. And he's a little youngin', like he's barely gonna turn 16. He's gonna be a junior, but he's barely turning 16. And he doesn't even have his, you know, like obviously doesn't have his license yet. Is very excited to get it. And you know, he's getting a truck, and so he's very happy about that. And just seeing him grow up and seeing my little one grow up are the greatest honors of my life. They are why I do everything. You know, like I remember when I started trying to do better, one of the biggest reasons was like, I need to be better so I can be better for them. And I know that sounds really cheesy and everybody says like, if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. I don't know that that's true because even when I wasn't feeling all whole, perfect, and worthy, I know I loved them. So that saying isn't true, in my opinion. You can love people and still struggle internally with the love that you have for yourself because they are so amazing. My 16-year-old and my 10-year-old, totally different spectrum, like totally different people, you know, their personalities are so different, but just like, yeah, like I want to be like my kids when I grow up. One is just totally, outwardly at least, I know everybody struggles internally, but outwardly super confident, very knows what they want, just very like sure of themselves. And then my other one is just rainbows and butterflies most of the time. And she's just my little ray of sunshine. She is I tell everybody if I could put the way she felt about me inside of me, and I would never struggle with any kind of confidence issue or self-esteem issue, I would be unstoppable, because she just is she's still at that age where she adores me, and everybody says enjoy it because it's gonna go away. I don't know though. I think I adore my mom. We do struggle, but I adore her the way that I think my little one adores me. It's a lot more complicated of a relationship, but to be honest, even with my little one, sometimes it's complicated. So that's just life. That's just people be peoplein'. And so, but yeah, so, you know, it's still summer. He's, you know, we haven't even done registration, but it's coming up, like back to school's coming up. And, I have always been in awe of the passage of time, and how am I the mom? How am I the one that's going to have a senior? It's wild. Super grateful for it. But yeah, that's hitting me pretty hard, having him be a junior. Yeah, that's tough. And in this, like, it's tough in like the most fun, joyful way. It's like, I'm so happy and so sad all at the very same time. That's why they call it bittersweet, because it is truly the most bittersweet thing is to be a parent. It is by far the hardest job that I will ever have. And I will always second guess myself, and I will always wonder and worry, am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right choices for them? But I just know that they are amazing, and I love them so much. So what else is happening? Let me see. Let me think for a second. That's all I have right now. Who's shopping Amazon Prime, right? That's another thing. I put all these things on my list and in my cart and all this. I haven't bought a single, wait, did I? I think I did buy something from on Amazon Prime deal, but not anything like super fun. You know, it was like, oh, I need that, so let me go ahead and buy it because it's a Prime deal. I don't really know that I necessarily saved any more money than I would have if I would have went to Target or Walmart, but I bought it because it was a Prime deal. So yeah, overall, it was a great week at work. It has been. I am so happy for my little one. She's at my sister's house having the time of her life. And so grateful that I have a sister who loves my little one the way that she does, because not everybody has that. And my sister and my brother-in-law and my two nieces, they just do such a great job just showering my girl with all the love. So I'm super happy about that. So it's just been me and Peter and Mateo here, and so everything's going good. Peter's a little injured with a calf problem, but I don't think it's anything too serious. We just need to take some rests, and I just think that's just because the boy never stops. Once he's like working out, he's trying to like bulk up and stuff. So I just kind of think he does a lot of working out, and I think sometimes you just get hurt. So I don't think it's anything too bad, but it has been a little sore. So yeah, going into the weekend, it's Friday. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. And remember, you are whole, perfect, and worthy simply for being you. And I will talk to you next time. Hasta la luna.